when we first came here, probably if you were to say what was the most, which organization or which group had the most impact on our life or that made the transition smoother, would probably be the fact that we attended church here in Quebec, and we sought out, which church we're gonna go to when we came to Quebec. So it was an easy process. Open the phone book and which ones sound English, because we didn't speak French, and we said, okay, well, the one that would look closest to what we would be familiar with and comfortable with would be this church called Quebec Baptist Church. It was also pointed out on us because it is on Grand Allée. When we took that bus tour of the city on our honeymoon, and so we said, well, let's go and check out that church. So we checked it out, and it's an interesting church. The term of the sign on the door says Quebec Baptist, but probably even today, many people, if they were to go back home, because it's a very transient church, there are a lot of people that come from the outside, short-term people, that if they went back to English Canada, they may not go to a Baptist church. It just happens to be that's the church that, because we don't have like the choices that they may have in Toronto, or we have the basic, the standard denominations here. But what drew us to that church and going back to it, and that was the first sense of English community that we were witness to, is we went to this church, we took part in the service, and afterwards they had the coffee hour, which they got downstairs and would meet and talk, and there was a family there that said, hey, what are you doing for lunch? Well, we have no plans. Says, well, why don't you come over to our house? So, wow. Okay, wow. Here, we've never met anybody before at this church, and now we show up, and somebody's offering us an invitation to lunch. And it was interesting. These were fellow Ontarians. They were people that came from the Port Dover area. So we went there, and we've been friends ever since. We've visited them since they moved back to Ontario. They come back on business. They stay with us. So it was a friendship that was formed right away. But it was something that was unique in this church. And we started to see that, wait a minute, a lot of these people, even though maybe they have bilingual families, the husband may speak French, but is bilingual, and the wife is an Anglophone who speaks French as well, that they're all going to this church because the common bond was that there was English. There was English spoken in the front of the church. Yet during the coffee hour, you could hear both languages, much like you see now in our schools.